Hello, my beautiful listeners and viewers. Tonight I will tell you about the archetype of characters, usually it's female characters, who is a bit of a spoiled brat, and she is usually some kind of a princess, or she's a younger daughter. She has blonde hair, and usually writers in films or books, they tend to portray them as villain, or they're usually paired and contrasted with very goody girl who is a main character, and they're sort of a spoiled, usually rich girls who are entitled to everything and anything. So this pairing usually makes them a butt of a joke, and they are quite rarely a main character in their story. They're usually secondary to the female lead. So I will walk you through some kind of different tones of this story, which is repeated throughout many films and cartoons, and I will show you difference and nuances between all of these heroines, because they are my favorite kind of characters. I think they are very interesting, and I think they are quite authentic. They are unapologetic in their nature, and it speaks to me. It drives my attention towards them, and they are rarely appear to be a main character. And also I find that they have very unique strength in them, different kind of characteristics which actually can be helpful in life, but it's rarely portrayed so. So I will walk you through different characters of this sort and explain what I find very useful in their characteristic, like some hidden strength in them, which is usually isn't seen in them, which people usually oversee. Yeah. So we will start with the OG spoiled girl, whose name is Emma Woodhouse from Jane Austen novel, which has the same name, Emma. She is a main character in her story. It gives us a great opportunity to reassess her journey, because she's not just one-dimensional girl on the background. It's actually her story, so we can look through her eyes and understand her perspective and understand where is her attitude and character is coming from, so we are able to sympathize with her. So this is a great opportunity for us. Well, the story is that she's a rich girl. She's the youngest daughter, I think. I think her older daughter is married off, and this Emma lives with her father. Father adores her, and she's kind of managing all of the estate. Of course, she's from I guess like a rich family, because Jane Austen is usually writing about money. Of course, there is a lot of romance in her novels, but this romance is always paired with financial struggles. So because women actually couldn't access any money and wealth in other ways besides marrying. So marriage was an elevation for them in society and in financial, like it was a financial gain. It's a financial proposition, is the way Florence Pugh's character says in Little Women. She is sort of a matriarch in her family, and she's I don't remember how old is she, but she is somehow a teenager, very young girl. She's not married off yet. And she thinks of herself very highly. She actually thinks that she knows better what is good for other people in their life. She controls them, she manipulates people, she does this, she engages people together. So she sets up some meetings and some intrigues to marry people off. So she plays with other people like with toys, and it's a very juvenile way of thinking. The story is basically how she, from this point of thinking that she's just such a great mind, she basically clashes with reality, and she breaks down, and she understands the consequences of her actions and how it influences other people, and how she was actually wrong, because she doesn't know how it's better for people to live their lives, and she even doesn't know how it's good for her to live her life. So yeah, this is a story how her pink glasses being just shattered with reality, and yes, she grows through it. So this is her story. She's growing up, and the sympathy I've talked about here. Well, you can think about Emma like she's an unlikable character, yes, but we see through her story and through her struggles, we sympathize with her, and we also know that she actually lost her mother in a very young age, so she is sort of placed in the position of matriarch of her family. She manages this estate, manages her father, like she is basically a woman of a house. And this is a role that she is not fit for, because she's too young, and her mother was supposed to do it, but her mother is gone, unfortunately. And so she is placed in this position, not on her will. So, of course, it somehow influences her psychology, and that's why she thinks that she can do anything and everything, because never anything proved otherwise. Yeah, that's why I sympathize with her also. And going next, by the way, next character is also from Jane Austen, from Persuasion. I actually never read this one, but I watched Netflix's movie from like, I think 4 years ago, and my favorite character there, I just couldn't stop watching her, is Mary Elliot. She's also the youngest girl, the youngest sister to the character which is played by Dakota Johnson. So here we can see that this contrast is starting to brew, because Dakota Johnson's character, she's very, how it's called, well-read, you know? She reads many books, she's intellectual, she's a deep person. And it is contrasted by a younger sister who is very selfish, she's likes to she just enjoys her life, and it's a focus of the film, and it creates this kind of funny contrast. And what I specifically love about Mary Elliott's character in this specific Netflix movie, that she is very self-aware, and even Dakota Johnson's character remarks it, that okay, surprisingly self-aware, because Mary says, okay, I know that I am who I am this kind of girl, I just I am who I am, basically. She doesn't want to hide, and she doesn't want to appear someone else. She doesn't want to appear like yes, she is younger sister. She just does what she wants, and I love that authenticity about her. And it's also, we can notice that the aspect of superficiality here, because in Emma, for example, like we always tend to think about these characters as superficial, but for example in Emma, this rule is broken, because Emma is actually very smart, and she's funny, and she reads a lot, and it's not something, but she is superficial about people emotions. So we also can see it in contrast with a good protagonist girl and this spoiled girl, that good girls always like, she's very deep thinker, like she cares about people and so on. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but they had a lot of attention in the media. We're talking about the spoiled girls, and yeah, and they are sort of like a bit like stupid, maybe like superficiality, like intellectually superficial, and yeah, and don't care about other people. Next one is about is on Soviet film. It's, I think it's from 68. It's sort of a play on old fairy tale. So it's called Moroska. It's a tale of how two daughters were in one family, and one, Marfusha, is a younger one, I think. She is very loved by her mother, and the other one is like a bit of Cinderella story. She is not she is daughter of man of the family, but she's not the daughter of the mother. So she just does all the work. She's not like very liked and so on. So this their contrast of this spoiled and beloved girl and really hard-working type. This is just contrasted to maximum because it's basically based on a fairy tale. Fairy tale is prevalent in many cultures. I think in Germany also they have this tale. So this hardworking girl is being sent to the forest, and she is basically freezing to death. And Father Frost, like it's a spirit of winter, it's basically a spirit of death. If we will speak frankly of it, he just comes to her and asks her, "Are you cold, little girl? Do you want some help?" And this Nastya is older daughter, brown hair, and she's saying, no, father, I'm all right. So she basically does not complain about her state, but she is freezing, of course, because she was sent there, I think, without even winter clothes, and so it's a sort of a trial, and she passes the trial, and she's being rewarded for not complaining. So I think it's a bit of it has a bit of agenda, because it's place of like this girl who perseveres, who very enduring and patient. She endures and she doesn't show there's anything wrong with her. Of course, because she is in that position, it's basically a story of Cinderella, right? But if you will see the film, it's kind of implied that it's a goody girl, which we all must strive to be, and this Marfusha, younger daughter, who is just like spoiled, doesn't do anything at home. She is a good one. Oh no, she is a bad one. So this contrast is also like has this moral agenda to make people sympathize and strive to be more patient. But basically, what does it do? Like it says, okay, you should not say what you feel, and when you've been asked, are you okay? You need to show that, oh no, nothing is wrong, but you're basically freezing. You just your legs are off because it's so cold. And when Marfusha is being sent in the deep forest, and Father Frost asks her, Moroska, what's up, girl, are you cold? And she's saying, yes, of course I'm cold, can't you see it's a winter forest, I don't have winter clothes, give me all of these gifts which you gave to Nastya. And she's being punished, and she's being severely punished by it. Like they sent her back to her village, and she's being publicly shamed for it. So, of course, I think for modern viewer it reads as it's atavism. So it's something that is not applicable for today, day and age. And I think it's, of course, Marfusha's willingness to say what she actually feels when she's being asked, and to reveal her struggles and to ask for help. I think it's a pretty beneficial quality in person, which is looked upon in this tale. So next one is very funny. I think it's a funny interpretation of this trope. It's from The Princess and the Frog, Disney animation movie, and the girl is, I think, is Charlotte. She's the best friend of the leading lady. But here, what I love about it, that it's a very kind interpretation of this character and sympathetic one, because it plays with our expectations. Okay, we see this princess-like little girl, blonde one, and she is spoiled. She asks her daddy, "Daddy, I want this dress." And we expect that she probably will be a mean girl because we are conditioned to see it. So, because we've seen so many girls like this in media. But no, she actually appears to be a really good friend, and she helps her best friend. She is basically a good friend. She is very helpful, and she is kind-hearted person. And she's being and she's stoic and not jealous. And in the end, she also meets her prince, who is a bit younger. And I love this twist, like for viewers to see something else, to when creators play around with this archetype. And she is very loved and beloved. Her father loves her, and we can notice, by the way, that these are all beloved characters. Her father loves her, this is Charlotte. Marfusha is loved by her mother, Emma, of course, by her father, and so on, and they are spoiled. That's the premises of it. And also the main underlying quality about them, that they are blonde. All of the characters I will discuss today, one more left, are blonde, because it's also, when you create archetype of, like, it's basically, we have some common traits in their character, in their behaviors, and it also translated through their visual appearance. So they usually share some traits, and so apparently someone decided that blonde is for spoiled girls. I don't know. And the last one is also from animation. It's from Soviet period again. It's called 12 Month. 12 Month. It's basically the story of this spoiled princess who is demanding people to bring her 12 snowdrops. Snowdrop is a kind of a flower which flowers under the bunch of snow. So it's closer to April or May when they appear in the forest. So she's and everything happens during New Year's Eve, and she basically demands something which is impossible in nature. They can't bring it to her. And that's, again, the stereotype, this archetype is pushed even more because she is a princess and no one can tell no to her. And this is even more exaggerated because it's a fairy tale. Of course, fairy tales are always exaggerated. It's a premises of a genre. It's very like a story without any nuance, actually. So yes, and no one can say no to her. And she said, "Bring me those flowers." And of course, this poor again Nastya. I don't know why it's all the time is Nastya, the main character who has to struggle through all of this shit. I don't know. And Nastya, brown-haired girl, main character, she goes to the forest because she must to retrieve these flowers in the middle of the winter, minus 50 degrees, something like this, and it's like snowing, and she needs to bring the flowers to the queen. And the boundaries, again, so lucid? No, not so lucid, so not non-existent for the princess. And that's also the main definition of the character, because she demands something here and now, and she doesn't care if it's possible or not, because she just wants it and everyone should just make it for her. Yes, and what are the hidden strengths I find in all of the characters, besides their obviously negative sides? Well, first of all, I love their ability to know what they want. It's actually not everyone can do it. They're very like, they can feel their body, they like enjoy their life, and they know themselves, and they know what they want, and they are not shy to communicate it with the world, with other people, because I find it's very applicable to life. Because even if you want to create something in your life, not through other people, but even for yourself, to make it yourself, first you need to say, I want this one, to understand, to aim for it, right? Yes. If you won't do it, it won't happen. So I find it very great pro about them. Next one is actually how lovable they are and how people really love them. Of course, it comes with the bad consequences for main characters with whom they're contrasted with, but because they're basically half of the time they are abused, and these girls, they take all the love for them. But I think it's more complicated than that, but we'll see. And they're always like the charming one, very like young daughter energy, because I read a theory that young children are supposed to be more creative, more charming, because they are the last one and they demand the attention from the parents, so they're like conditioned to be more artistic and attracting, and they have this quality to draw attention to them and be lovable and likable. And what's wrong with that? Actually, I think we live in a I know we live in a world of people, and when we are building businesses and when we are building something, anything, families, doing like improving ourselves, we always have to deal with people, and it's great to have an ability to be liked. So it actually moves you. It can move you through life, and I don't find it bad. I think it's also their, it's their special ability, like a superpower. Why not? And the third one I love about them, well, it's a bit a tricky one, because, well, not they are able to see through other people. They have like this sort of, sometimes it's not quite true, because they can be controlling, they can manipulate people like Emma does, and they can rule it, but so it can go terribly wrong, how we see with them. But on the other side, they understand how to rule people, how to work with people, how to lead, and it's actually a great quality for a leader, for someone who starts something, who can manage people, right? So it's actually quite great and inspiring for me. And the last one, yes, as I already said, I think they're very authentic people, and they don't hide who they are. So you know what who you meet, so you know the person. It doesn't try to hide their personality somewhere, so you know who you encounter, and if you agree to be in their life somehow, you know who are in front of you. And I adore this authenticity, and I adore how unapologetic they are, and I think it's also a great quality to implement in one's life. So that's basically all. I would like I would love if you will subscribe, because in this case I will know that you are interested in this English version, so I will be making more of English version content here. So let me know if you want this, and have a great winter holidays and great New Year's, I guess.